Hello and welcome. You're watching us here on Halftime Report. I'm Manglam Malu, with me Sonal Bhutra. It's looking good for the markets. In fact, we saw a bit of a gap up opening, not as much as the SGX Nifty was indicating. And from then on, we continued to build onto those gains. At the high point of trade this afternoon for the frontline index, everyone was hoping for some support coming in from the Nifty Bank. Well, that came by a little too late. The Nifty Bank is sitting with a gain of almost 500 points right now. But the bigger joker in the pack today was the IT pack. So the IT sector supporting the index through and through after being an underperformer for almost 12 to 14 odd months. The mid-cap index just about 0.8% higher. Hi, Sonal.
Hey, Manglam. Yes, that's a well-rounded up action that's happening in our markets today. And if we look at some of these stocks which are at the day's high as we speak, so it's the banking space which is really doing very well. So we have Kotak Mahindra Bank, which is higher in trade today. It is at the day's high. IndusInd Bank higher. Reliance Industries is the other one, which is supporting Nifty and House. So a 260-point uptick on the Nifty, and it's much better than what the SGX Nifty was indicating. Of course, the global excitement is something that we are also seeing in our own markets as well. Let's do one thing while we are talking about markets. Let's also talk about an outperformer today. Texmaco is on our radar. It has been buzzing, stock up 75% in last 1 year. A fact to note, Mr. Rakesh Tripathi, who's the new MD of the company, was to join on January 2nd, but he could not for personal reasons. He has not taken the charge yet. So let's get in Mr. Vijay, who's the CFO and ED at the company, joining us now to discuss the business outlook and more details on the same. Mr. Vijay, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, before I do talk about the stock outperformance and what's happening as far as business fundamentals are concerned, what happened as far as the joining of the new MD is concerned? It says that it was because of personal reasons. What's happening exactly here?
Yeah, basically, good afternoon. Mr. Tripathi was to join and he requested for some more time to join. And later on, he said that because of his personal commitment to move out from the existing where he is located now to Calcutta was getting challenged for his family, and requested in case we can consider that if he is allowed not to join at that. And so accordingly, we said that then the position will not remain open. And clearly then accordingly, he is not joining, and we are now running with the existing strengths, and now we are running pretty well, in fact, rather, if you see. The performance-wise of the company is moving around.
Right, but a lot of hopes of smoother, more efficient running were pinned on a new professional joining. I remember a lot of analysts asking you this question in your conference call, etc. as well. But now that this hasn't happened, are you still looking for a new MD for the company?
Yeah, we will be open to that, because basically the people who are running the show at this point in time need to have a replacement, or rather have to be a person who can succeed to it. So we will be looking for, but it's not an urgency or rather such thing that it has to be done yesterday or today.
Okay, all right. So we'll, of course, touch base with you when there is an update on that one. Mr. Vijay, let's talk about business now. So production level of 300 wagons a month, and you expect it to go to much higher levels. That was the last commentary that we saw. Can you tell us what is the current production run rate? What is the maximum run rate that you're expecting, and by when can you achieve it?
Yeah, unlike the other wagon builders, we need to be actually required to make the prototype, and that is why we took some time to make, where all of the wagon builders can go straight away because they were doing those kind of wagons. So today we have done the prototype sometime in the month of August. Thereafter, we start picking up the production. September itself, we have crossed the level of 300, and gradually now we are stepping up the production, and production is likely to go to our original levels, which we were actually doing about 600. In good old days, when Texmaco was basically supplying the maximum quantity to the railways. And we expect to achieve. Our mission is much higher, but yes, immediate target is achieving levels of 500, 600 in immediate future.
All right. What is immediate future, if you could, quantify the time? I mean, is it...
That is before we end the year.
Okay, before the end of this year, you plan to move from 300 wagons per month to about 500 to 600. Can you give us a sense of the updated order book? Again, like the end of the previous quarter, your order book was close to around 9,300 crores, but you were L1 in a few orders, etc. as well. Can you give us what the updated order book stands at as on date, and what was your order inflow in the third quarter?
This is I think you're talking third quarter.
Yes, the third quarter.
Order intake for third quarter.
Yes.
Yeah, basically the order book is already crossed 9,500 crores, and we are already in for additional order for another 200 crores. So we expect that the order book to be to the level of 10,000 crore rupees before the year is ending. And moreover, the performance-wise also things are looking up. The the best part is this thing that the private sector is also now getting into a big demand. And they are coming up in for the huge requirements which are there for their wagons, and which is always an advantage situation whereby if you are not getting the wheel set, which is continues to be a critical item in respect of the rail wheel plant, so that you can focus on the private, which you can depend upon the imported ones. Okay. So that way, basically, we are balancing it out now to make sure that, yes, production-wise, we continue to the level which we have targeted about, irrespective whether the railway wheel sets are available or we have to depend upon the imported wheel sets.
Okay, so in that case, from this order book that you're talking about, how much is coming from exports? And you had a target of 500 to 600 crore in terms of revenues. Will it become better because you are talking about more demand coming in from the private sector as well?
I will not be able to tell you the exact numbers, but yes, it will be better. I can say that much.
But the target of 500 to 600 crore this year is something that you will be able to achieve?
500, 600 crore for exports?
Yes.
So we didn't mention that, I think. We never mentioned the 500, 600. Export is basically, you see, it is not wagon alone. We are exporting in a large quantity of our foundry division. And foundry is already crossed 120 crores. It's crossing this year. So that way we are actually on target for what exports we have targeted about. But wagons-wise, we are gradually picking up. And this year we will be doing something close to 200 crores.
You had spoken about this number, the potential, in your conference call, and this is taken from...
potential will take time because when the export order we book, deliveries are normally 12 to 15 to 18 months. Okay. So it is not that we once we book the order, immediately go. We have booked some orders, but they are all there for deliveries next year.
And what about Kalindi Rail? I mean, you were improving operationally out there. By when does it, start to contribute to profits meaningfully?
Kalindi will take at least next financial year before it starts coming on the real profit terms, because the track which we have changed and the team which we have now put up over there, they are now focusing more on the kind of projects which can be completed in a short duration and which requires a larger supply portion than the actually on-site work. So that's how basically the track has been changed, and it's working well for us. In fact, the new orders which we have booked, they are all giving me good profits. My money is getting blocked only in respect of the old contracts which we have taken, which were large contracts. And those contracts were basically dependent upon completion of certain milestones and all. And there the issues are not related to us, but then the issues are many which are related to the client also, to the other contractor also. And that's basically delaying the process. Now this process we are setting right. We are getting out of those contracts. And maybe that one more financial year will be required for Kalindi to come out and then do really well about, because the business-wise scenario is very good. Signaling,
okay,
your even the ballastless tracks, which is required for metro, huge requirements are coming up.
Yes, Mr. Vijay, we do take your point, and we are a little short on time. So quickly, before we let you go, can you please tell us what is the debt figure right now? The last known number is around 887 crore rupees. You raised via rights issue as well in December 2021 for repayment of loans and to fund working capital as well. What is the updated number and what is the target?
See, my long-term debts are very small. It is basically running into the range of over 120 crores. The main debt which is basically there is working capital debt, and depends upon my present production requirements and all these things. We expect that the debt finally at the year end will be something close to 900 crores. And within that, the company will be able to manage well the entire working capital.
All right, so let's wrap it up then. Finally, if you could give us a sense of what your entire year would look like. The first half, you've done revenues of roughly 800 crores with margins of 4.5%. For the second half, what do you expect?
I won't speak on the margin, but yes, the turnover-wise and the overall performance-wise, the next half year will be far, far superior to what we have been doing in the previous half year. So this quarter itself, results will start showing the improvements, and the next quarter will be further better than that.
Okay, all right. We take that point and we'll speak to you again after your Q3 numbers. Thank you so much for joining us and detailing the business outlook and what's happening as far as ground demand is concerned as well. Slip into a short break now. Up next, we'll be focusing on the stocks that are reacting to news updates and a lot more. Stay tuned.